Okay. So I think we can get things going in order to make sure everybody has enough time to present. So welcome to the 8th edition of Icebreakers. My name is Hugo Paquin. For those of you who don't know me, I am in charge of the startup and partner relations at TechQuartier. I'll be the moderator today for this Icebreaker session. So maybe a quick, for those of you who attend for the first time, maybe a quick recap on the format and what's the idea behind it. So this was a bit born out of COVID. You know, we felt that because there were less touch points for members to meet at TechQuartier physically, we needed to create more formats where people could introduce themselves, present their company, and basically just create more interaction. And that's how we figured, okay, let's just do it simply over a Zoom call, open it up to the community, and offer the possibility for 5 startups of our community to present who they are, what is their business, basically get to know them, what they're working on, why they're at TQ, and then connect the dots, you know. So some of their startups are looking for investment, some of them are looking for partners, potential co-founders, clients. That's why this is a format where we learn about their background, what they're looking for, and we see if we can basically create some TQ magic here and business opportunities. So I'll share the next slide here just to go through the presentation order. So the 5 startups we have today are Featurespace, BattleNow, AmazingBlocks, Racksnet, and Molnarkitekt. I hope I pronounced that right. We also have a team of co-founders. So BattleNow and Molnarkitekt are double teaming this Icebreakers. So that's really cool. Yeah, basically just the ground rules of this format is that every startup gets 5 minutes. Like, I won't stop it very harshly after 5 minutes, but please try to keep it within the time, because after each of the pitches, we allow people to ask their questions. So I will be monitoring the chat. If at any point you have questions you want to ask, please just write them in the chat so that after the presentation we can ask the presenter to answer those. Following the Icebreakers, so today, right after the session, I'll be sending around a type form. So if you want to get introduced to one of those startups, simply fill the form, and then you will be connected right away with the presenter. That's how we measure the success of this, by having as many people connect and take the decisions forward. That's it from my side. I don't want to ramble any further. So as a first presenter, we have Jan Stenzel from Featurespace. So Jan, if you would please share your screen, and then the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Give me just a second. Hopefully you can see my screen now. Featurespace, Outsmart Risk.
Yes, we see it.
Perfect.
And see you.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks a lot for having me on this call. As Hugo said, my name is Jan Michael Stenzel. I'm a sales executive for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland here at Featurespace. And I'm greatly excited to be here this morning and to tell you a bit more about Featurespace. Also greatly excited to be part of the TQ community, not least because I'm actually myself from Wiesbaden, which is obviously close to Frankfurt. So yeah, greatly excited to be here. In a nutshell, obviously time is short. What do we do? Featurespace, in a nutshell, provides world-leading technology solutions for fraud prevention and anti-money laundering. We do that primarily in our ERIC Risk Hub, which is a user-friendly and highly scalable analytics hub to combat financial crime and fraud. Give me 1 second to go to the next slide. I started immediately with the most important information. Just an overview here of the solutions that we provide for both fraud and AML. So at the top, we have a couple of use cases here: card fraud prevention, payment fraud prevention, application fraud prevention, the classic bank use cases, if you will. We have a solution for anti-money laundering, obviously quite a big topic at the moment, especially this year in Germany and DACH. We also have solutions for acquirers, processors in the merchant monitoring space. And as our solution is fully multi-tenant, or we have a leading multi-tenant technology in the solution as well, we can provide a white label of all those solutions to our clients as well to resell to their clients. And then lastly, on the bottom, we can see here we also have Eric for gaming fraud prevention, which is another use case we serve. I want to elaborate just a little bit about our clients and then a bit about our history to round it up. So Featurespace is very proud to have been chosen by some of the biggest names in the financial services world, a selection of whom you can see on this screen. We work already together with a number of large and medium-sized issuers like HSBC, Danske Bank, Clearbank, obviously a great challenger bank, and then also Turkish Akbank, which we recently added to our portfolio. We also work together with a number of big names in the payment space, in the processing space. So WorldPay and TSYS are two that you can see here. And then we have a few other clients in the airline, in the gaming, and in the credit industry. Just a reminder, this is just a selection of our referenceable clients. Featurespace today has 4 offices globally. We have our headquarter and research and development based in Cambridge here in England, due to our history and strong connection to the university there. We have our commercial hub for EMEA here in London, and we also have an office in Atlanta, of course, so to speak, the center of payments. And then very recently, another milestone for the company, we opened an office in Singapore to serve our Asia-based clients. And a bit on background, so Featurespace's journey goes back to the year of 2008. We were founded by Professor Bill Fitzgerald and Dave Excel of Cambridge University, more as an academic methodology than anything else. Both of them real-world experts in AI and machine learning, human behavior, as well as anomaly detection. And based on that research, we have created adaptive behavioral analytics, which is our proprietary technology that enables our statistical models to automatically adapt and self-learn to new circumstances, as well as to spot fraud and financial crime more reliably by focusing on, we always put it simply, by focusing on good behavior rather than bad. So by creating a holistic understanding of the customer profile. I mentioned that before, so we're lucky enough to already be working with 30 of the biggest banks in the world, which includes the 5 leading UK high street banks. And then we have 500 million consumers that we protect from fraud and anti-money laundering, or financial crime, I should rather say. Along the way, we've won a few awards, just one of which here is particularly worth pointing out in 2019 in the 8 report, Best in Class for Fraud and AML Machine Learning Platform Vendor. Last year, our platform processed more than 50 billion events. The number has been doubling historically, so we're very excited to see what number we're going to see next year. And then finally, a strong testimony to our machine learning technology and performance of our product truly being the best in the space is the fact that we've never lost a single proof of concept that we have entered till date. I didn't really keep track of time, but when I tried, it was around 5 minutes. I hope it wasn't too quick. But yeah, I hope that gave you a good overview of what Featurespace does and where we come from.
Thank you, Jan. If you have questions, again, please write them in the chat, and we will give them to the presenters after their pitch. One question from my side, maybe to break the ice, no pun intended. So I used to work actually for a cybersecurity firm back in an old life. And I'm curious to see how the landscape is in terms of cyber threats and you know, fraud and online, you know, money laundering. What are sort of the emerging trends that you see in 2020 from your side?
Well, there's a lot happening in that space. I mean, Featurespace more focuses on transaction monitoring in real time. So we don't really do the cybersecurity space, the blocking of, you know, attempts to steal information or something like this. Many fraud and financial crime schemes start with the attempt to obtain information legally through cyber attacks, but that's not really too much the space we are in. We're more in the transaction monitoring space. So that platform I mentioned, Eric, is a holistic analytics platform that enables banks and other financial institutions to keep track here of transactions and orchestrate processes as well. But it's obviously a big trend this year in general, fraud and financial crime, as well as obviously in the cybersecurity space. We all obviously, testimony to that is all of us on Zoom today rather than physically together. Everything is remote. Everything is more in the sign of digitization these days. And obviously, there's a lot of new angles, new avenues that fraudsters and cyber criminals can explore in order to get information.
A question from Harold: what are the next strategic steps for the company?
Strategic steps. Obviously, we're on a quite exciting growth trajectory. So we just passed our 300th employee. We just opened the office in Singapore. So Asia is obviously one interesting market for us. And then obviously growing our client portfolio in Europe. So I myself, I joined early this year, and I'm going to be leading the business development efforts in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So there's a lot of work to do in front of us, but it's a very exciting year for the industry as well as for us as a company at Featurespace.
Do you typically partner up with the other startups or scale-ups in your case that have complementary service offerings?
Yes. So that Eric Risk Hub I mentioned, one strength of it is actually it's an orchestration hub as well. So fraud orchestration is quite a big topic in the industry at the moment, which is simply put a central tool like ours in order to fuse together information and orchestrate decisions, orchestrate either internal, external data sets, as well as other third-party vendors that might serve another purpose. So we had the example of cybersecurity maybe, but also behavior biometrics is obviously a big topic in the industry. And one strength of our platform is that we can seamlessly integrate and work together with other maybe siloed endpoint solutions that will help the client to holistically manage the threat of fraud and financial crime. So yes, absolutely, that's something we're always open for.
Cool. I saw you're active in the gaming space as well.
Yes, correct. So we have a couple of clients there. It's not really gaming as in like computer games, Steam or something like this. Obviously, there's also transactions happening there, so potential use case, I'm sure as well. But it's also in the online betting industry, and one of our referenceable clients on the slide before, maybe you saw it, is William Hill. So that's one of the gaming use cases that we serve with our technology. Simple logic there as well. Spotting anomalous behavior, any fraudulent, potentially suspicious transactions going on.
Awesome. Thank you for the overview, Jan. Thanks for your time today and the great presentation. Appreciate it. If you can stop sharing your screen, we will now have a presentation from Battle Now. Speaking of gaming, I think these guys are more less in the gambling side and more on the typical like sports and also online gaming space. So we have Aaron, Armborst, and Felix joining us, and I believe you have now shared your screen. So you're ready to go, guys, whenever you want.
Yeah. Thank you, Hugo, and good morning to everyone watching here on Zoom and on YouTube. And we are Battle Now, your platform for video-based online contests. And that are Aaron, our CTO, and myself, Felix. And in the beginning of this year, we asked ourselves the question, why do athletes need to meet up to compete, especially in sports judged by a jury? And then we looked, and there was no alternative, so people had to meet up because there was no online solutions, which is, especially in times of a global pandemic, an even more relevant question. And so we started out with Battle Now to bring you a platform where you can easily organize a video-based online contest. So you just register, you create the contest, choose who can participate, how it is judged, and then invite your friends, your community just shout it out in the world to gain more participants. And with that, we already have acquired over 650 registered users from 49 different countries. We have uploaded since May over 590 videos, and those videos have been given over 3,400 individual scores. And how that works, back to Aaron.
Yes, thank you, Felix. Let's go straight on battlenow.com. I go on my profile and just create a battle. Let's choose a battle, best wakeboard trick. Let's pick a battle time frame. Choose a joining deadline until when we can upload the video. Choose a category, wakeboarding in this case. We choose a battle type public. We can also make private or invisible battles. Let's make a community judge type. Here are also different options. And then just type some battle rules and create this battle. Now the battle is already online. If you go on the battle page, there are different options we can choose. Now, let's say we are a competitor and just want to join this battle. There are various ways to join the video in a link. Let's just pick a video from YouTube. Just copy the code on the top and then join this battle. And now, as you can see, there's already a button where I can see my video, or if you scroll down, I see my video right now, first place, 0 scores. If I'm a judge, interested to judge, I just tick the judge button, pick a score. For example, this was a really good one because I know it. I give it a good score of 9, and then I can already see my scores up, 1 score, 9 stars. And this is the way how we make battles on Battle Now. Back to you, Felix.
Thank you, Aaron. And as I mentioned before, our journey started in the beginning of this year. So we've spoken and brainstormed about it since January, started really out in April, then tested the prototype in May with the German national team in wakeboarding. In June, we started out with the German Wakeboard League, so a national event. Then in July, we had the first global battles in wakeboarding, so people from all over the globe could compete. And since then, we already hosted a pitch battle with the Startup Safari, where we gained over 600 scores in just 5 days. We're working with the Bavarian Snowboard Federation, who's hosting challenges. And that's where we're standing now. So the journey continues. And I've mentioned a lot of possible audiences. So for whom is Battle Now? And Battle Now is for everyone. So influencers who want to activate their community, sports clubs who want to engage with the fans, companies for marketing, bands who want to see what is the best cover song, and federations, which just need to provide contests for their athletes. And we hope that you, the Tech Quartier community, can support us with that. So we're searching for contacts in the sports and music industry to organize battles, obviously. And you all know that as a tech company and with a tech product, we are looking for support in form of a motivated co-founding CTO, technical co-founder, who can support us in our journey. And if you have any questions, just write them in the chat, contact us afterwards, fill out the forms, and just come to us, and we're happy to answer all your questions and to work with you.
Great, thank you, Felix. I do have a question. So what is your strategy in terms of go-to-market? So how are you guys planning to basically get users on the platform? I assume the more users, the better the experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. So we work with multiplicators that bring their own community. So, for example, with the Wakeboard League, the German Wakeboard Federation brought part of their community to our platform. With the Bavarian Snowboard Federation, the same. And in the future, we aim to work with influencers who have big communities, but they can only engage with them via comments and likes. And therefore, they can now really pass the action to them. Hey, you can do something. And therefore, we work with people, with companies, with clubs who bring the community to Battle Now. And of course, we're starting our own events as well to give example and references and to build up community as well.
Question from Harold regarding monetization.
Yeah, we have different pillars where we in our business model. So the first one is premium accounts. With these premium accounts for organizers, they can use a judge panel or community plus judge panel, which is especially interesting for companies, for federations, and they can earn money via starting fees and prize money payout. So we offer financial functionalities where we get a part of as well. And then there are invisible battles when you don't want your battle to be public, especially for example innovation challenges by companies. That is a premium function as well. The second pillar is advertisement, since we have a highly targeted audience. And then the last pillar is that by nature we have a lot of content, and with that content we can grow our social media channels, and then one day when they are big enough, we have revenue streams there as well.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the presentation. I am sharing right now in the chat the form. So if anybody wants to reach out to you, they can simply enter their name in that form. They can, I believe you've also shared your contact details here. Perfect. So, yeah, thanks again for your presentation, guys.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Great. Next up, we have AmazingBlocks. So Nicolas Weber, Business Development Manager at AmazingBlocks. You can share your presentation and take it away.
Perfect. Thank you, Hugo, for allowing me to be here today. So can everybody already see my screen?
Yep, works well.
Okay, perfect. So let's get started. Dear Tech Quartier community, my name is Nicolas. I'm a business development manager at AmazingBlocks, and we focus on the legally compliant tokenization of shares and assets in Liechtenstein. We offer a tokenization solution for the entire life cycle, comply with the disruptive legal framework, and allow true equity tokens for shares and assets, and therefore efficiently merge tech and law seamlessly. So, before the Liechtenstein Token Act was implemented in January of this year, aspects such as cost and time, paper-based systems, friction through intermediaries like notaries or lawyers, and generally a localized investment structure were harming innovation and progress in the traditional world of finance. On the other hand, in terms of tokenization, no legally compliant equity tokenization was possible. This changes with the unique token container model in the Liechtenstein Token Act that is described there, which allows you to basically put any right or asset into a container, the token, thus having a digital representation with full legal compliance. What is the benefit of these equity tokens in Liechtenstein? Well, they have a much higher liquidation grade, especially for illiquid assets like real estate or patents, machines, or art even. They have legal security in EU passporting, as they're simple to grasp, and from a foreign point of view, nothing else than a traditional or normal security. You can have dividend paying shares tokenized, participation shares tokenized, or registered shares tokenized, and then you can buy or liquidate your asset at any time. With this legal framework in place on the one hand, and a trusted technology like blockchain, in our case Ethereum on the other, we believe that AmazingBlocks can successfully merge tech and law. And after the Liechtenstein Token Act was implemented, we founded ourselves with Ethereum as founding deposit, without a bank account in Liechtenstein. Our software went live. We generated the first ever equity tokens in line with the Liechtenstein Token Act for an Aktiengesellschaft. And now we have the first projects. The advantages of our solution are on the one hand dimension true equity and also ownership tokens, which is unique in Liechtenstein. We have fundraising on the go through our software with KYC and AML integrated. We have a software and expertise for the entire life cycle. Therefore, we also support our clients throughout the establishment process of an SPV in Liechtenstein. Through templates, we allow bankers and fast incorporation. We have a fully automated and remote process, so you do not have to travel to Liechtenstein. And you can manage these tokens end-to-end 24/7. And on top of this, you have a digital share register in place, which is quite important to comply with the FMA in Liechtenstein. Our software is highly customizable to each use case that our clients present and has a delightful user experience, which is secure and reliable and meets all the regulatory requirements in order to address the traditional world of finance. We have all the compliance integrations in our software with AML API, possible KYC process, and we collect all the relevant shareholders' data necessary for the Liechtenstein authorities. A core benefit of the Liechtenstein model is that you can have a multi-asset tokenization with one single entity. What this means is that you have a PCC on top, which is tokenized with equity tokens, and then you can have subsequently independent AGs, which represent certain assets, and there you can have equity tokens, obviously, but also participation rights as tokens or debt tokens even. In terms of what we offer, we on the one hand offer knowledge in terms of template and blueprint for the establishment process. We offer an issuer and administration token pad, which is for the entire lifecycle from the perspective of the management board, and an investor suite, which is then from the perspective of the investors and has KYC and AML verification for them. In 2021, we will also offer tokenization as a service. Next, now my screen is kind of lacking, sorry. Oops. I'm sorry, my computer is kind of having an issue right now. How this process will look like from a perspective of the investors generally is that you will have the investors on the one hand, which verify through our investor suite with KYC integration. And then on the other hand, the management board basically issues these tokenized shares of equity in company or also any type of asset through the investor, the issuer token pad, which then has the equity tokens or debt tokens ready for the investors, which are able to manage them in the investor suite. We are embedded in a strong ecosystem of legal partners like Nägele, which were involved in drafting this law in Liechtenstein on the one hand, and technology providers and acceleration programs. We have a young and dynamic team on the one hand of blockchain enthusiasts and advisors on the other hand that guide us through our disruptive journey. And last but not least, I would like to end my presentation with a quick quote by Roop Singh, a TEDx talker and serial entrepreneur. As you discover what you find valuable, the only question for you, what might you tokenize? This quote clearly states the immense potential that tokenization will have in the future, and here a disruptive and progressive legal framework like in Liechtenstein is needed. On top of this, a service provider like AmazingBlocks is needed to cope with the emerging token economy. So thank you for listening. Sorry for the little disruption earlier, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicolas. I think that was like perfectly 5 minutes. So good job on the time keep there. We have already a question here from Felix. How long does a tokenization with you take? Do you provide the necessary legal documents?
Yeah, like generally the entire process of establishing an SPV in Liechtenstein can be quite long. For instance, in our case, without any experience before, when we found it ourselves, it took around 3 months. But throughout this process, we've, together with Nägele and the Liechtenstein authorities, kind of implemented a blueprint that basically allows you to set up your legal entity in Liechtenstein and then subsequently tokenize it within a 3 to 4 week period. So what this blueprint means is we provide it to our clients free of charge, and it's like a detailed guide for each day of this period, which tells our clients what they need to do. And obviously they on the one hand can outsource it to us and to our legal partners at Nägele, the entire process, which then requires certain costs, obviously, or they can take care of most of the steps themselves. Obviously, some legal advice is needed, but generally, I would say it takes around 3 to 4 weeks from the legal side. And then once the legal side is taken care of, With our solution, it just depends on the degree of customization that our clients require. If they just want the standardized solution that we have in place that is live already, then they can immediately start tokenizing and then also onboarding new investors. But if they want to have a customized solution that, for instance, a lot of our clients currently want because they have certain higher degree of individualization that they need for the respective assets that they want to tokenize, and they even want to at some point integrate a white label solution where they place their logo on top of it, then it obviously can take a couple of more weeks, but generally in terms of the establishment process, it's a 3 to 4 week period.
Okay, cool. Where do you see the most traction in terms of asset class? Like which assets are being the most tokenized, and where do you see most potential?
I think on the one hand, obviously traditional company shares, because for the just for startups, for instance, it can be quite helpful if you tokenize in Liechtenstein because of the entire fundraising process that is much smoother and faster, basically within a 30-minute time frame. If the relevant personal data is collected before, you can onboard an investor and subsequently already issue him the equity of your startup or your company generally. But also in terms of assets, there's just so many use cases. What we are currently seeing with one project is, for instance, classic car tokenization of a Mercedes-Benz collection, but there's also other assets like real estate that will play a high role, or patents even in machines. So I think generally you cannot really single asset out. I think it's going to be a gradual process. Certain assets like classic cars or real estate will make a start, and then others like machines and patents or art will follow suit, in my opinion.
That's kind of interesting. So you mentioned the classic car collection example. Mm-hmm. So how does that work? Somebody owns like millions of dollars worth of classic cars. Then they say, I want this collection to be tokenized in Liechtenstein, and then he can sell shares to a group of investors.
Yeah, this is just generally how the process works. Like you can either say, okay, you have like one independent AG in Liechtenstein, which represents one classic car, or you can bundle these classic cars and basically have like a classic car fund, so to say. So you have the flexibility in what you want to do, and you can also fragment the ownership here in terms of the equity, and then it just creates like basically a whole new asset class. And it works on the one hand for OTC kind of trades, also between high net worth individuals, but in the future especially, we want to address the secondary market liquidity and basically create like a liquid market for alternative assets that will be then in the future can be utilized as a hedge against inflation. I think everybody knows that inflation is inevitable in the future, and therefore these kind of assets, especially in a liquid form with these equity tokens, can represent a great benefit for portfolio diversification.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for the presentation, Nicolas.
Thank you.
All right, on to number 4 right now. So we have Holger Merz, who is VP Finance and Investor Relation at Racksnet. Can you hear me, Holger?
Yes, yeah.
So whenever you're ready.
So do you see my screen?
Yes.
So perfect. So many thanks for having the opportunity to present Racksnet. My name is Holger Merz, responsible for investor relations and finance, cloud-based automation and management for open networking. That's what we're doing. So all what we talked about is, let's say, it only works when the IT networks are working. And well, this is not so easy probably. So why did we build Racksnet? So what we always saw in the last years, or we still see, complex infrastructures, technology and data flooding. So it's a lot of more and more data have to be managed. So certifications on trainings are expensive, time and budget pressure in the, let's say, projects. And at the end, human errors, and of course, expensive or let's say dangerous network failures. So what's the reason for that? On the one hand, that's still, let's say, command line focus, what we see in the IT networks. For example, Cisco has 20,000 commands. You can, let's say, expect what kind of risk you have there. And the next challenge is the market is still let's say, the two kind of silos there. Let's say, I would say old world hardware, let's say a closed system of the providers you probably like Cisco, Huawei, HP, Hewlett-Packard. But of course they have solutions, automation solutions, but you always face a vendor lock-in there. So the solution is proprietary only. On the other hand, you have, let's say, the new world, white box switches, open networking solutions like from Dell, Mellanox, also the operating systems, Pika, Pluribus Cumulus. But let's say this is not an adjusted solution there. So scripting is still needed, and there's no migration tool. You can face, or you can see there is the question, who is at the end going to manage this network? And that's what we did. Let's say we wrote it, or we made a software where, let's say, you have one whiteboard, let's say this is what you see on the right side, and one dashboard, and you can have deployments in minutes instead of days and weeks. That's what all the POCs with our clients show. There's a one-click migration, and that's worldwide for the first time a cross-vendor migration per one click. It's cloud-based, so that's the only cross-vendor solution where we have access at any time for anywhere, which is, let's say, even more important at nowadays. And as I said, there is, let's say, one unified GUI for all, GUI, that's the surface for all vendors, what you can, let's say, have in the market now. So we're building a bridge from these, let's say, Cisco's, the common vendors, HP, to the new ones, Dell, Mellanox, etc. That's what we already did. We will, of course, expand that in the future. The Microsoft is joining that market with Sonic. We, of course, expand that to IoT, including machine learning for analytics. We are part of the ONF, that's the Global Open Networking Foundation, where we're very proud of. So we're sitting just between Dell, Cisco, and Samsung, which is just great for us. So this leads to several advantages. You have, let's say, OPEX advantage, CAPEX savings. There's a highly reduced risk of network failures. If you look at CAPEX savings, existing hardware still can be used. Regarding OPEX savings, let's say, you can just imagine when you don't have to travel anymore, you can do it from anywhere, just send the hardware, and anybody can just click it in, and you have a, let's say, one-click migration there. Compliance issues are very important. That's multi-tenancy issue, let's say, support what we have here. So that's why we have, let's say, several, let's say, pillar segments. We have a SaaS license model. We're working with Dell together as an, let's say, probably in the next month, OEM, which took us several months, but it's a great deal for us. We have several channel partners here, just as an example, some IT system houses. We have the first large customer, direct customer, Kia. And so let's say we're delivering several advantages there. So this is something we're going to expand in the next months. And we're very proud that we are Red Herring winner in Europe. And tonight, we are, let's say, in the finalist of Red Herring 100 in the US globally. So this is the team. And of course, we're looking forward working with TechQuartier and all you guys for expanding that journey.
Thank you, Holger. If there's any questions, please write them in the chat. Basically, from my side is in terms of the community, you know, like joining TechQuartier as a startup community and also a corporate innovation platform. So what are your goals and what are the next steps in in the Racksnet journey?
Well, I'd say, of course, the goal is to expand that internationally. So we have the German hub here. We are including machine learning. That's why, let's say, Hugo and me, we've been in touch regarding these AI talents, which is, let's say, very interesting for us. So this is something we of course would like to make it or to integrate more machine learning there, which would make it, let's say, even faster what we're doing there. Analytics, for example.
Okay. Any additional questions for Holger? Let me quickly check if the YouTube has any. None there. All right. Thank you for your presentation, Holger.
Yeah.
All right. And now we're going on to the last presentation for today. So actually, this startup, Molnarkitekt, is the first participant in our soft landing package. So basically, the ability for foreign startups from an international background to come to Frankfurt and to set up in Germany. So we're happy to have the two co-founders here, Yenidogan and Robbie Chabra. Gentlemen, you can unmute yourself and share your screen. Great.
Hi, thank you. Can you see our screens, please?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I am here with my co-founder, business partner, Ali. He is in Stockholm currently, and I am in London. We started the company as Molnarkitekt, as you rightly pointed out, Hugo, in the introduction. We were invited by IBM to come to Germany to assist some of their existing clients with the technology and the solutions that we bring to the market. Molnarkitekt was a bit of a challenging name in the other markets. So we trade with Unwire in the German market and the rest of the markets. So just going to the next slide. So yeah, we were born in Sweden. We have an office in Stockholm. As you can see in that faded picture, that's our reception there. We have an office in Frankfurt, of course, at TechQuad here, you know, like the table tennis there. I haven't played there yet, but IBM Equinix partnership as well in Germany. We are a partner with them now. We started our journey in Germany just over two months ago. So we are very new in the German market. We've been in the Swedish market for almost 2 years now. So still a startup there. We have partnerships with GCP and AWS in the Nordics. So we have the experience with creating cloud center of excellence teams within our clients. Some of the logos that you can see down there already. We have very strong skills in fintech and medtech technologies, which is backed very well with how we and what we do with our skills, with the artificial intelligence that we bring into these two markets. We also have a very strong expertise and skills in quantum computing. We have started our research. We are already training our data to see what difference it makes when we train an algorithm in a quantum compute environment, which I will talk about a little bit more in this presentation, or touch base briefly. So we are, apart from the fintech and the medtech, we have a division in the company where we also do cloud migrations. We do cloud backups, 24/7 support, and ultra low latency based hybrid cloud platforms, which our fintech and medtech use cases, you know, highly appreciate that. And our customers are IKEA today. We have Knowit again in the south of Sweden, and Swedbank, which we recently onboarded. In terms of the use cases, we have plethora of use cases with the clients basis that we work with. We have genomics, so we look at the human genomes. We do the next next generation sequencing in the DNA analysis, and we do medical imaging. Again, AI-based medical imaging that that our platform is capable of. Again, it's all learned by the data that we gather from the hospitals, from various use cases, pharmaceuticals, universities, and we train that data to produce better results. We do ultra rapid analysis of human genomes. Again, a lot of clients in what we come across are not using the power and the ecosystem of the multiple clouds out there. And that's where we come in. We help them understand what resources can be used, how we can enable those ultra low latency platforms and high throughputs for genomics batch workflows. And we work with the clients under our BRC program, which I'll touch base in the next few minutes. And in terms of the other workload in terms of cloud migrations, that is our bread and butter. We work with the clients, help them with that journey as well into cloud. So we have a lot of expertise in Kubernetes and Docker and application architecture. We help our clients understand, what resources to use in cloud. So as it says at the bottom, we discover, we help you sell. So we provide a lot of pre-sale support to to IBM, to other clients, other customers. We support with our existing team, we build, and then we optimize on how do we save you money whilst you're there. So our platform, for example, this is one of our product. We have Quant virtual machine, which is quantitative trading virtual machine for our fintech platform. It's a virtual machine that is agnostic. You can pick it and deploy it any platform. What it brings is the preloaded algorithms. So all our algorithms are built into our VM. So what it helps our customers with is not having to employ someone from scratch to write an algorithm. You can pick these algorithms like time series analysis or neural network based algorithms and start to tune your data with this algorithm platform that we create. Now the Quant virtual machine that we create comes in different t-shirt size models, so you can pick and choose what works for your platform, and you can apply that methodology onto different platforms, hybrid platforms, and then we work with your team to do data learning, to do machine learning, and produce results through AI. Main languages that we use are R and Python, as a lot of you will already be familiarized with. In terms of quantum, there's a small snippet. We are using IBM Q for quantum computing. Now, if you already deal with fintech environments, you would know that in the fintech environment, you have traditional computers that do ones and zeros, with bits and bytes. With quantum, it's ones, zeros, and everything in between, because the data is traveling, not reading or writing through the bits. It's actually the physics of it, the neurons and the protons that bring a different type of result. So the market data looks very different than what you would normally get, from a traditional computer. So that's what we do. We train the data, because you can't capture the data in quantum like you can memorize the data in an old computer methodology or architecture, but with quantum you have to capture the data in real time or you lose the data. So with our Molnarkitekt / Unwire portfolio, we deploy machine learning algorithms and capture that data to produce these results based on the data that we gather from the market, from the medical industry. and we produce ultra low latency results. This is just a snippet of our portal. So what you see in blue is a medtech portal. What we understand in the market today from the hospitals, from the universities, there is a huge issue in terms of security, in terms of speed, in terms of governance, and how expensive the tools are, how not so user-friendly the tools are. If you're a medical student, you have to learn coding. If you're if you're a radiologist, you still have to learn some Python or some coding to be able to produce the results that you need to do, or upload your data onto the environment that has been given to you. What we are doing here is making it very accessible for students, for everybody else, to be able to upload the data, see the real-time results, see the real-time cost, and make that decision based on the cost that you get from our portal. And it's the same methodology that we apply on our fintech platform as well. We have a portal that gives you real-time results, all based on the different type of algorithms that you can pick and choose within the portal and apply that to your use case. Now, how do we generate revenue? We have different phases from experience that we have gained. We try to work with your team. We try to discover opportunities. We generate new sales, give you all the pre-sale support. We become the extension of your sales team, because what we are finding out, if you have a sales team and they're reaching out to the clients, sometimes with the evolution in IT and everybody moving to cloud, sometimes they're not up to speed with what to say to the client in terms of when a client is asking about cloud. That's where they can get the pre-sale support that they need from us. We do lots of virtual events like these. We do lots of webcasts with our partners like AWS and IBM. There's a recent one coming up soon, and we can share the details with Hugo. We can share it with you. We have moving away from phase 1, we go into phase 2, where we do consultancies and discoveries. And this all comes under the BRC program, which I was mentioning a little bit before. Now, what is BRC program? So BRC program is Bootcamp Research and Coding program that we have developed within our company. Bootcamp, we go and train the client's environment. We work with their team. We try to explain them what we are going to do in terms of what algorithms we are going to deploy. We don't train the staff to start learning coding, but we actually explain them the approach that we take in that bootcamp. And the bootcamp, depending on how big the use case is, can take about 5 to 10 days. Then we do the research on intensive research, I must say, on the use cases that we discover in the bootcamp area. We work with the business applications and then try to create that innovative innovation that they actually require from the data. And then we code as part of their team. And that's what our BRC program is. Then we move on to the third phase, where once you're in the cloud, once you're using all those services, either on hybrid cloud or public cloud, we try to optimize and put security and governance. As you can understand with fintech, medtech, security governance is of the highest priority because of the GDPR reasons, and that's where we come in as well. So yeah, we control.
Robbie,
yeah.
Sorry, don't mean to cut you off. I just want to say time-wise that we'll have to wrap it up soon. So you can. Yeah. No, it's all good. I give you a bit of a break, but
that's all right. Sorry, time goes fast. Okay, I'll move on to the next one, but let me just finish this one. So we try to control the cost and become the active advisor, the trusted advisor of our clients. So this is the final slide. What we bring to the table is the multi-cloud scale. So you're not just limited to one cloud or one hybrid solution. We provide an agnostic solution. We help you think out of the box. We are available at short notice. We help you generate cloud revenue and help the medtech and the fintech industry with the existing problems that they face, and try to make it a bit more user-friendly platform to use for clinicians, technicians, and the traders. So that's who we are.
Okay, great. Thank you for your presentation. And so we should refer to you as Onwire now. Like Molnarkitekt is a mouthful even for me. So
yeah, well, people that understand Swedish, they probably already know what Molnarkitekt means. It means cloud architects. But unwire is also unwiring you from the attachment of your data center. So unwire yourself into cloud. So yeah, it's a lot easier for the rest of the world to say unwire. Yes.
Okay, super. No, you guys have an impressive like tech stack and definitely a wide variety of use cases. As you're recently in the German market, where do you see the most potential in Frankfurt, but perhaps more broadly across the industrial landscape here?
Yeah, so we've had a couple of inquiries already, and we are building a platform with a client that was introduced to us through IBM. I don't want to name the client yet. We have a strict NDA with them, but we are helping them reach out to a local hospital with the medical imaging that we provide through AI, the solution that we provide. They have some COVID-19 X-rays that they want to analyze through AI. So they want to increase the availability of their solution to the market. So those sort of use cases. So what in their use case, they have a huge amount of data from existing COVID-19 patients, or chest X-rays. They want to use our platform to produce a result that shows a difference between a COVID-19 chest X-ray patient and a non-COVID-19 chest X-ray. So the next time you produce another chest X-ray to the AI, you get an ultra rapid response saying that this is non-COVID, and it decreases the time that it takes to treat a patient.
Okay. Got it. If there's any question, I'm looking in the chat. I don't see any. So I want to thank you, Robbie, as well as all the startups who presented today for this eighth edition of the Icebreakers. So as you can see, we had a wide range of solutions, like quite diverse. Hope you found the content interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed presenting, and follow us for the next Icebreakers, which will be held on December 2nd. So I will be sending afterwards the form where you can get in touch with the participants, but also you'll get the invitation link to the next session. So again, on behalf of the TQ team and the startups here, thanks for attending, and wish you a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.